The evolution from Kingdom Hearts 1 to 2 is massive, and perhaps it's even the biggest form of evolution we've seen within the series. After Kingdom Hearts 1, Square Enix took the combat system of the game back to the drawing board, to the degree of even completely redesigning the entire game engine that Kingdom Hearts 1 was developed on, due to that original engine having a ton of limitations. A lot of the stuff that we see in Kingdom Hearts 2 from a technical standpoint just wasn't possible in KH1, hence building what is basically a brand new engine for the game. This is something that I think a lot of people don't actually know about. One of the biggest forms of evolution within the combat system of Kingdom Hearts 2 was most certainly its camera. This was probably the most common complaint about Kingdom Hearts 1, its stiff and awkward to use camera system. Through the modern version of Kingdom Hearts 1 that we have today through the HD remixes, the camera system was reworked. In the original version of KH1, the way that you controlled the camera was with L2 and R2. This meant that you could only turn the camera from left to right. There was no up and down, no 360-degree movement for the camera. During the time of Kingdom Hearts 2's development, Square Enix were well and truly aware of the complaints towards KH1's camera system. Nomura actually brought up the complaints about this system within numerous different interviews talking about Kingdom Hearts 2 before its release, mentioning that this was a common complaint in amongst players, that they are working hard to make a more refined camera system for Kingdom Hearts 2. They ended up implementing analog control for the camera in KH2, but perhaps the biggest change here was the actual position of the camera. The FOV, field of view, was brought back quite a bit compared to Kingdom Hearts 1. In Kingdom Hearts 1, the camera is very close to Sora. In fact, Sora fills up about half of the height of the screen space. Whereas in Kingdom Hearts 2, the camera is brought back so far to the point where Sora's now filling up about 1/5 of the height of the screen space, with now being able to see more space behind Sora as well as the party members in full view when you're standing still. Kingdom Hearts 1's camera is definitely intimate, whereas Kingdom Hearts 2's camera is more so practical. I'm not too sure if gamers really think about the importance of the camera angle and FOV within games all too much, but it's a pretty damn important aspect, especially for a 3D action game. If the camera is closer to the playable character, then it makes the entire world surrounding that character feel larger. This is one thing that I've always found about Kingdom Hearts 1, is that the worlds of this game seem a lot larger in scale compared to Kingdom Hearts 2. This is also due in part to the general level design of Kingdom Hearts 1, as it's a completely different beast compared to KH2's, but part of this reason as to why worlds just feel like they are a lot bigger in KH1 is because of this more intimate camera angle. Now, the reason why I would call Kingdom Hearts 2's camera angle more practical in this sense is because this is a third-person action RPG. There is a lot going on in the general area when engaging in combat. You need to be able to see all of what is surrounding you, all of the enemies coming from all angles, and so with the camera brought back, you can see more of what's going on in the field. It's interesting because ever since this FOV change for KH2, Square Enix have pretty much stuck with it right the way through. They've never returned to the more intimate camera angle that KH1 presents. There have been a couple of instances here when looking at something like Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. They actually brought the FOV a little bit closer. This is because this was originally a PlayStation Portable title. PSP has a much smaller screen space compared to a TV, being that it is a handheld. You don't want the player having to squint in order to see their playable character. The same can also be said about Dream Drop Distance. It was originally a 3DS title, and the FOV was brought closer to the playable character. However, looking at the HD remix versions of Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, the FOVs were brought back because now players are playing on a TV screen. I think Square Enix realized that through changing the camera angle in Kingdom Hearts 2, this is the angle and FOV that works best for the type of gameplay that Kingdom Hearts offers. However, I've always been curious to know what Kingdom Hearts 2 would be like with that KH1 camera angle, with basically having Sora filling up a lot of the screen, considering that KH2 was developed with its new FOV in mind. how would the experience of this game feel? Due to the magic of Kingdom Hearts now being on PC, something like this is possible. Thanks to KSX for making an FOV Lua file, this means that we can now change the FOV value. I found that value 1 best replicates the Kingdom Hearts 1 camera angle. The camera is now very close to Sora. Sora now fills up more of the screen. But one interesting thing that I did find out about when trying this out is that not just the FOV in itself is different here in Kingdom Hearts 2, but the physical camera angle, the positioning of the camera, is different compared to Kingdom Hearts 1. In KH1, the camera position is pretty much right behind Sora, with a little bit of a slant looking down towards the ground, whereas in Kingdom Hearts 2, the camera was brought to be a little bit above Sora, with more of an angle facing down towards the ground. What goes in part with this is that Sora's character model is obviously different in KH2. This is an older version of Sora, so he has grown a little bit. He is a little bit taller, and I think the new camera angle right here complements the growth of him. So tinkering around and playing Kingdom Hearts 2 with the KH1 FOV is definitely an interesting experience, and it is very much playable. Suddenly that feeling of worlds being larger like they are in Kingdom Hearts 1 comes flooding through when exploring the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2. Perhaps maybe not to the same degree, because as I mentioned, level design in KH1 is based a little bit more around exploration than KH2's more linear hallway type design. But that being said, suddenly I was starting to realize different details within the environments that previously I had never noticed with the camera being brought back. The vines that are growing on the concrete walls outside of Beast's castle, or the flower vines that are wrapping around Kangaroo's house with the grass mounds. These are things that just previously I had never really noticed, and that's the benefit there. It's bringing the camera more closer to the playable character. This is why when you look at first-person games, there is generally a lot more attention to detail within the environment, because you are quite literally looking through the eyes of the character. This is also generally why first-person games are a lot more immersive compared to that of third-person action games. Now, Kingdom Hearts 2's combat system is definitely more involved than Kingdom Hearts 1's, so how does this work with the closer camera angle? Well, like I said, it is still playable, but KH2 definitely has a lot more special effects and particles bursting out of every hit you do, with the different magics that you cast, with the form changes. This can be a little bit distracting, considering that the camera angle is right there, bang smack, up against Sora's ass. You're pretty much almost tasting, sniffing, and even licking these special effects. It can be a little bit distracting. But the cool thing is here, with all of the new special moves and new animations that Kingdom Hearts 2 offered, it just instantly becomes a little bit more cinematic. Sure, it's definitely more difficult to play like this because you can't see your surroundings like you normally would be able to, but seeing Sora pulling off all of these cool special attacks from a close-up perspective definitely gives it more of a cinematic feel. It's interesting though, because envisioning a version of Kingdom Hearts 2 that kept the Kingdom Hearts 1 camera angle, didn't change the FOV or camera position, the game would still honestly operate completely fine. Definitely not to say that I prefer KH1's closer angle. I think Square Enix made a massive leap and improvement to just the general combat system with the camera changes alone. I think this was something that was much needed, considering this is an action RPG. But it's so interesting to just realize how important something like camera positioning and FOV values are when it comes to the general experience and vibe of a video game. Tinkering around with these settings on the opposite end of the spectrum, bringing the camera even further back than what's already on offer in KH2, leads to some very, very interesting results.
This is it. It's over. This is it! This is it! It's over!
However, I think the days of the intimate Kingdom Hearts 1 camera system is definitely over. I think at this point Square Enix have pretty much just found the sweet spot for FOV and camera positioning for the Kingdom Hearts games. Upon doing research about this very topic though, I decided to go back to the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer to pay attention to the camera angle of the Kingdom Hearts 4 gameplay portion of that trailer. Now, what's important to keep in mind about this gameplay portion is it's very much all in development. It's not representative of the final product whatsoever. And while, yes, this is all in engine, is it truly gameplay, or is it more so demonstration of gameplay? But the camera angle here is actually quite close to Sora. It would definitely be quite interesting to see if Square Enix actually do ever attempt to bring the camera closer to Sora to make for more of an immersive experience for the game. However guys, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions towards this topic in the comment section down below. I would love to know. Be sure to check out my other social media platforms like my Instagram or my Twitter, where I rimble and ramble about other video game goodness and of course Kingdom Hearts. If you guys want to keep up with all the latest of what's going on here on the channel, subscribing is very important. Thanks so much to my Turkey-tastic patrons. I appreciate the support. With all that being said, I'm Cynical. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.